So the next thing that we need to do to help somebody overcome obesity is to help them to design their sense of identity. Now, what I like to call your unconscious identity is who you truly believe that you are at your very core. Now, there are some people who are overweight who will think, yeah, I'm overweight, but that's because I've neglected my health over the last few years and now it's time to do something about it. It doesn't define me and who I am. However, there's other people out there who very much feel like it does define who they are. They take it on as a sense of identity. And I'll say things like, oh, it's just who I am. It's just the way that I am. I'm just an overweight person. Now, your unconscious identity forms the blueprint for your life. So you might be able to make changes in the short term by changing your behavior and your short-term behaviors. But if those behaviors do not reflect your unconscious identity, then eventually over time, just unconsciously and automatically, you're going to make choices and behaviors and decisions in alignment with your unconsciously held sense of identity. And eventually, guess what? You'll be back all the way to square one. So it's really critical that we help people to design themselves from the inside out. Now, a lot of people think that their sense of identity is something that they don't have a choice in, something that's just been handed to them, if you like. But in actual fact, your sense of identity is purely a strongly held set of beliefs, a specific type of belief about you, about who you are. Now, having already discussed beliefs in this series, you will know now that beliefs are simply generalizations based on your references, which come from your experience and the type of references you've spent most of your time and energy thinking about and focusing on, external references, and what you've spent a lot of time thinking about and imagining. So in order to help people to transform their sense of identity, the metaphor that I like to use is that of Tom Watson. Now, Tom Watson was the founder of IBM. And after IBM became this great successful company, he was asked what he attributed the great success of IBM to. And he gave three answers. He said, first of all, I had a very clear vision for what I wanted the company to look like at the end of the process. Secondly, I identified how that company would have to act. And thirdly, I recognized that we would have to act that way from day one in order to get there. Otherwise, we would never get there. So he recognized that they would have to act and behave and take on the identity of a great company before they became a great company. This is the same for you. This is a great metaphor for how to design yourself. A lot of people think, oh, when eventually I bring myself down to the size that I want to be, then I will feel differently about myself. It doesn't work that way. It works the other way around. You have to feel differently about yourself, and then you get to transform your body, because then your decisions and choices automatically come in alignment with that sense of identity. So you start in the future, recognize what you want to look like, how you want to act, and then start acting that way and taking on that sense of identity from day one, and then allow your physiology to catch up over time. So how do we do this? Well, we do this using what we call mental rehearsal. Now, mental rehearsal is something that I've covered in detail in another video series that we produced on binge eating. So I'm not going to go into any great detail here, but essentially you're going to spend time vividly imagining yourself being exactly the way that you want to be, not just physically, but how you think, how you behave, in as much detail as possible for the big picture context of your life, in all of the different situations and area of your life, so that you design yourself in detail from the inside out. Now, like I say, in the short term, that's going to take some time and effort and energy, because what we need is for you to get to the point where when you think of yourself, these new thoughts and images and feelings about who you are become your default reference point and completely dominate and overwhelm any ones that you used to have from the past. But your unconscious mind likes familiarity. So whenever you think of your future, the easiest thoughts and images to create are ones you already have experience of. So most people take images and thoughts from their past and just project those into the future. Guess what? That's what happens. So in order for you to design your future in the way that you want it to be and build a compelling future for yourself, it takes some time and effort and energy to vividly imagine it exactly the way that you want. So it's really, really important that you repeat this exercise every single day, and that you regularly refer to this new sense of identity throughout the day to make sure that your behavior is in alignment with this new version of you. When you do that, that's when you get to transform yourself out from the inside out, and that's when it becomes sustainable for a lifetime.